Thursday, December 12th, 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and thanks for joining us on today's edition of the program. It has been an eventful week, and Well in Print is here today to bring you fresh updates on what has been making news around the world. I am FRIDA, EGBESON, and you are live on Pan-African Media TV. Go nowhere, for we shall be right back just after the transition. Welcome back, beautiful people. If you are just tuning in, you are live on Pan-African Media TV, and the program on air is Well in Print with me, FRIDA, EGBESON. On today's edition of the program, I will be joined on set by Dr. AHMED. But before I go introducing our guests for today, up next is our press review, with our first flight taking us to the United Kingdom with the Financial Times newspaper. Financial Times this morning carries a caption: Fed cuts rate to lowest in 3 years as a weak job market eclipse inflation. The third reduction in a raw, Powell says decision was a close call, while setters see downside risk for labor. While the Yorkshire Post, on its part, headlines this morning, airline joins talks on new airplane airport. From the UK, ladies and gentlemen, we move over to the United States of America with the Washington Post this morning captioning a divided Federal Reserve cut interest rates again. Central bankers debate economies, mixed signals on inflation and labor market. Los Angeles Times carries as major caption: will Atlanta girls remain a success story? Teen founded charity tries to keep mission alive. USA Today says grocery tracker. What's your bill? How prices are changing your shopping charts content. Away from the United States of America, ladies and gentlemen, we jump over to the African continent, to Nigeria, with the Punch newspaper carrying this morning as headline: Federal government pushes for a 17.89 trillion naira new loan to finance 2026 budget. Borrowing jumps 72% as revenue clips by 8.67 trillion naira. Debt servicing to go up nearly half of 2026 earnings, while the Guardian captions 54 tax charges account for 35% of aircraft cost, stifle traffic demand. The paper says this morning flying in Nigeria gets expensive. From Nigeria, we move over to neighboring Cameroon, ladies and gentlemen, starting with our municipal update newspaper that carries as caption: Historic leadership transition at ICT University. Professor Tonye succeeds Professor Pondi as a Vice Chancellor. And it promises more innovation. Founder Professor Mbarika salutes Pondi's strides as a former VC assumes honorary role. The Guardian Post, on its part, writes to boost digital learning, Minister Nalova Lyonga hands electronic brought to 250 schools nationwide. While The Voice, on its part, headlines ICT University ushers in new leadership. This is how we saw it on today's press review, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away, for up next, the part 2 is going to be the analytical part of the program with our guest just after the transition. Welcome back, beautiful viewers. You're live on Pan-African Media, broadcasting on Bouquet Creoline, Canal 299, and the program on air is Well in Print with me, FRIDA, EGBESON. On today's edition of the program, I will be joined on set by Dr. AHMED, who is a public health expert who has done a lot of research in West Africa, most especially in Ghana. You know, each time Dr. AHMED comes here, it's an honor for us to have him on set because he is quite a busy man. He has taken time today from his very tight schedule to be our guest. Doctor, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Madam FRIDA. Thank you, viewers of Well in Print. We thank God for this good morning period in Dr.
So how have you been? Because it's been a while we met here.
Actually, absolutely. Towards the end of the year, like that, Madam Frida, things have been so busy. There's a lot of things to do. We are trying to make ends meet. Things we have not done within the year. We are trying to make sure that everything goes. We finish with our projects. We accomplished most of our missions that we had before January comes in. So it has been a busy period coupled with the tight traffic everywhere in all the regions in Cameroon today.
Okay, Doctor, welcome, and please, you are at home, so you can feel at home.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, like we all know, I was saying that Dr. Ahmed is a public health expert, and each time he comes, we pick up to get something. In as much as we are here to analyze what has made news around the world, we are also here when doctor comes to have a health benefit, and we have a health tip. Okay, last 2 weeks or so was World Diabetes. We celebrated World Diabetes Day, and though doctor was not here with me, I will not let him go because we need to talk about diabetes. So on today's health tip, we shall be looking at diabetes and of course internal pie. So without any much ado, doctor, we've been hearing diabetes has been something that is recurrent in the youth, in the old, like everybody is prone to diabetes. I don't know if there was something happening. So if you could just tell us what exactly is diabetes?
Okay, diabetes is a metabolic disease, and which is a public health challenge, which is common in aging people. Last time when we talk about hair complications that come out with comes with age. We talk about diabetes. It's a metabolic disease. Absolutely, it's a public health challenge worldwide. That's why a day has been dedicated for World Diabetes Day, and there are two types of it. We have the nutritional diabetes, which is called type 2 diabetes. This one is coming mostly from nutrition, our lifestyle changes, and maybe our BMI, our body mass index.
Yes.
That's factors that are within and out of us. While we have diabetes type 1, which is called insulin-dependent diabetes, which is congenital, which is genetically transferred. I think we want to classify the two of these diabetes. The type 1 is just about 20%, while the type 2 diabetes covers about 80%.
Right.
And what we will try to also explain here is diabetes is a situation that arises in the body where the sugar in the body is more than what the body needs. So in type 1 diabetes, there is inadequate secretion of insulin, means a pancreatic defect. This occurs when in some individuals, some enzymes are being secreted that end up eating up insulin or destroying insulin and making the sugar levels to go up. And while in type 2 diabetes is because maybe the individual has been consuming a lot of sugar and giving a lot of work to the pancreas, and the amount of insulin secreted as well is insufficient. Or maybe the organ failure, maybe the pancreas is not working. Yes, it can lead to type 2 diabetes.
Okay, type 2 diabetes. So, at times it's not easy to know when somebody is suffering from it, especially those of us who are not of the health course. So, what are the signs and symptoms to watch out for? But when we see, we know that this is an indicator that this can certainly be diabetes.
Yes, I think as Madam Frida, it's very important that people know the vital signs and symptoms of diabetes, because this is a disease that can easily be handled if we identify it a bit earlier. One of them is frequent tests. So most of the time, somebody feels testy, you have frequent urination. Maybe you pee in the night 6-7 times in the day, you pee. Then you have general body weakness, you're always tired, getting tired. Without walking, you're getting tired. And then also you have blood vision. Sometimes you feel like you feel like you're not seeing well. You have a blood vision. Then you have hunger. Those who have diabetes always feel a bit of hungry. Time and again, you are hungry.
So you can develop huge appetite.
Yes, huge appetite. Then you have numbness. Sometimes you have numbness in your fingers. You have numbness in part of your body. Some people will attribute it to what we lastly treated in this studio called osteoarthritis, which could also do that. But diabetes also is also a sign of diabetes. Then you have ketones. Ketones are a form of protein. They can appear. They don't need to appear in urine. Normally, when they start appearing in urine, it could be a sign of diabetes. Then we have very dry skin. You have somebody with dry skin. There are some people who, even they apply oil, you don't really see them blue, but you really see them dry. The skin does not look as if they have applied oil. Then you have slow healing of wounds. At times, those who are diabetic, when they have injuries, it takes time for the wounds to heal. In some cases, the wounds may not heal at all. So these are indications of diabetes. These are the most common signs and symptoms of diabetes in the context of all communities in the world.
Yes, so what are the health complications associated with diabetes?
Now, as we said, diabetes is a metabolic disease. When we say metabolic, it means that it's something that comes when the digestive system has a problem. And then when it is not treated, when the metabolic system or the system has a problem, you have system problem and it's not treated, other organs will be affected. And one of the first organs that is affected by excessive sugar is kidney. When there's too much sugar in the body, it can lead to kidney damage. Today you hear about kidney failure, kidney rupture, kidney this. This is coming out from diabetes because excessive sugar, it makes it difficult for the kidney to actually excrete most of the waste in the system, and it can lead to failure of the kidney. Then you have damage of blood vessels. When there's too much sugar too, there's a possibility that the blood vessels can be damaged. That is rupture of blood vessels caused by excessive sugar in the system. We have stroke, which is the most common one. Most people today, I can tell that 80% of those suffering from stroke, whether it is partial stroke, ischemic stroke, hemorrhagic stroke, partial, complete, or silent stroke, where somebody falls down, just die, we call it silent stroke. Most of these indications can either be diabetes or high blood.
Okay.
So, and in the background now, what are the risk factors for this diabetes and high blood is the cholesterol, excess cholesterol in the system, and taking in other hard liquor, like whiskey, hot drinks, and things like that. So it can lead to damage. So stroke is the most common endpoint of diabetes when left untreated.
All right. So, is there any way we can caution or prevent diabetes?
Yes, there's a possibility for those who have not yet entered diabetes, or those who are in they're diabetic already, they are pre-diabetic or they're diabetic. There are things they could do so that they should not go into the situation. And if they are there, they would still do these things while taking their medication. The first one is to be very active. You don't need to be sedentary. You need to be moving. You have to be physically active. You don't sit on one spot, because when you are physically active, the rate of sugar metabolism increases. And then the body uses more sugar than before. That's why you see people doing sport every day. People are trying to do sport. In China, most people park their cars. Sometimes they go trekking, going to their job site. Even in the UK, you see people, even ministers, they are trekking, going to their job site. This physical activity burns down sugar. And then we have to reduce the consumption of carbohydrate food. We don't need to consume a lot of heavy carbohydrate food. Now, when you see things like rice, like fufu corn, which are our daily menu, like water food, those things, they are not sweet in your mouth, but they are carbohydrate. But once they get into the body, they are being oxidized, they are being metabolized, and then the end product of that will be produced is glucose. It's glucose that we produce. And then when we cross 40 years, we have to restrain from sugar. Yeah, we have to restrain from sugar. But Madam Frida, I want to let our audience know that it's not consuming too much sugar that can lead to diabetes. Rather, when you consume too much sugar, you overwork the pancreas. And when you consume too much sugar when you are not active, then sugar can accumulate. Some people can consume sugar, but they are very active, and then they don't give room for sugar to accumulate. So, and then you discover that another thing, to caution to take is that when we are leaving sugar, we can go more for honey. But we should take note that maybe I forgot to take the sugar level in the body varies. The normal sugar level is from 90 to 110. From 90 to 110, your sugar range is okay. But when you start going to 120, 130, you are pre-diabetic. 130, you are pre-diabetic. By 150, 160, you are diabetic. Now, when you go to honey, you are not diabetic and you are not you are pre-diabetic, you completely switch off sugar and go for honey. But now,
consume in moderate.
Yes, it's in moderate quantity, because the sugar that is in honey is not glucose. Rather, honey has sucrose. It's not glucose. And what causes diabetes is glucose. So now, when you use honey, it is moderate that it can be. But when you use it in excess, that's where it can be a problem, because excess use, another form of sugar in the system, can be converted by the liver to glucose. So when you use too much fat is converted by the liver into glucose. When you use too much sucrose, it will be converted by the liver into glucose. If you use too much fructose, like that in sugar cane, it will be converted by the liver to glucose. So that is why caution, you must visit a generalist doctor, somebody specialized in taking care of diabetic patients, to check your level and then tell you exactly whether you should restrain from sugar or restrain from honey. At times you may restrain from honey completely, and at times he may prescribe you honey. Then you need to get a good sleep. Sleeping well gives room for the organs to function well. So those who don't sleep at least 8 hours a night, they're in danger of having diabetes and high blood. Because you are overworking the system the whole day, you have not slept. The body has been working, all the organs have been very functional. In the day, again, they need to rest. You sit again up maybe with your mobile set, or you sit up watching films on television. This can result to system failure, many organs in the system failing, and can lead to diabetes. Then we have reduced stress. You have to reduce stress. There is a difference between physical activity and stress. Stress is somebody who works without resting. Yes, this is stress. From morning till the next morning, you are active. Well, then you have avoid sugary drink, energy drink. Yeah. Yes. When we say avoid, it means you have to limit. If you are taking one sugary drink, maybe one energy drink a day is not a problem. But bet me, I have witnessed outside there are people who take this normal, the so-called energy drink called Reactor. There are people who drink more than 12, especially those who do heavy work, 12, 14 a day. It's very dangerous. They are overworking the kidney, they are overworking the pancreas. Right. But we cannot refuse them from drinking, but taking moderately. And then we have to reduce weight. We have to do weight. Once you start putting a heavy body mass index, there are chances of you for your sugar to increase. And then we drink a lot of water. Any average human being should take about 2 to 3 liters of water a day. Breakfast, water. Lunch, after lunch, water. Your supper in the night, heavy water.
Okay, so we're talking diabetes, ladies and gentlemen. We've looked at what diabetes is all about, the signs and symptoms, the health complications, the treatment. So now, is there the the most appropriate drug that diabetics can use?
Yes, the worldwide recommended therapy for diabetes treatment is metformin, more commonly for type 2 diabetes, and insulin therapy, more common in type 1 diabetes. Both of the types, the therapies can go for each, but most often the insulin therapy, where you inject yourself with excessive insulin to boost insulin level, is more common with people who are suffering from type 1 diabetes, while type 2 diabetes, most people are placed on insulin. But apart from that, this is not treatment, but it's a preventive measure that people can do.
That consuming too much of metformin, can it not be negative also?
You may not consume too much because the metformin is given to you by a doctor, and probably the doctor checks. The doctor has to check, do a diabetic control before placing it. There are people who have taken maybe some over-the-counter medications, and then they will stop, they don't consume this, they give you only metformin, because metformin may have an anti-interaction, maybe a kind of contraindication with other medication. So you stop other medication the doctor gives on you. But we are cautioning people that you can still use something at home that can help to balance your sugar level.
Natural remedies.
Natural remedies. This can be more of preventive than curative. That's ferment aloe vera water maybe for 3-4 days. The water, you peel your aloe vera, you ferment, you take aloe vera water, maybe 1 or 2 glasses a day. This balances the sugar. Most doctors have recommended some patients to squeeze bitter leaf water and drink. But me, I would not recommend it because I've done phytotherapy. I've analyzed the structure of bitter leaf, and I realized that bitter leaf falls under a group of plants called the lentils plants that carries a plant that's lenticular plants. And these lentils have a negative impact on the kidney. So when you take lentils which are in bitter leaf raw, it can be a problem. So I would rather recommend that people cook bitter leaf, semi-cooked. All right. You just put your bitter leaf on fire, but don't let it get too cooked. You make it semi-cooked, semi-prepared, and then you eat, and then you can drink a lot of water from that bitter leaf. This is a very good therapy. And then you go more for black beans, because while we are taking this thing, because they have magnesium, and magnesium has an impact on sugar oxidation in the body, or sugar metabolism. So when you eat a lot of black beans has a lot of magnesium. It can reduce sugar.
All right, Doc, thank you for opening our eyes on diabetes. Let's take a quick one on internal piles. You know, this is also something that disturbs so many people. You have young children suffering from it. So just take it snappy. What exactly are internal piles?
Internal piles are inflammation of the rectum. The rectum is the last part of the large intestines. It's a kind of storage house for feces or undigested food materials. They are stored in the rectum. Sometimes the tissues or the cells in the rectum grow abnormally. When they grow abnormally, the rectum is directly above the anus. So when the cells of the rectum grows abnormally because of some triggers, it can swell. And when it swell and increase in size, the only way the swelling can shoot out is the anus, because the rectum is just directly adjacent to the anus. So this is, we can define piles, though we have the external one, which is a chronic stage of the internal. They start from tissue, abnormal tissue multiplication in the rectum.
Wow. So what are the signs and symptoms to watch out for on
most common signs and symptoms of rectum inflammation, otherwise known as pile, they do manifest with bloody stool. Sometimes you go to the toilet after defecating. When you leave the toilet, you look at the mouth of the toilet, you see drops of blood. This could be an indication. You have itching anus. Sometimes your anus itches, and then at times your anus is always wet anus. The anus is supposed to be dry. You see, have a wet anus. And then you have constipation. You have constipation. At times you have constipation. You just feel full. And then you have lower abdominal pains. Then in some men, internal piles can cause sexual weakness in most men. And then also equally we have the protrusion of the swollen part of the rectum. Sometimes when you go to the toilet, it comes out.
It comes out.
After finishing the defecating, it goes back.
For some people, it does not go back.
Yeah, it happens to when the tissues it has become chronic and the tissues are weak. The tissues, the skin of that affected part has become weak. It comes out and it goes back on its own. When it starts coming out and does not go back, and you have to push it with your fingers, it's going to another stage. Another stage, it comes out, it doesn't go out permanently. So you end up having some small balls around the entrance of the anus. Yes, this is all indication of the chronic stage of pile. And this could be manifested at times by hard stool that comes round stools. You go to the toilet, it takes time for physics to come out.
So, like we looked at our question on diabetes, is there any question we can take to avoid internal piles?
Seriously, internal piles are mostly coming from our feeding habits.
Okay.
Yes, can trigger internal pile. Yes, 80% of internal pile comes from the feeding habit. We have to reduce as much as possible. We have to reduce pepper. Consuming too much pepper. Pepper is a catalyst. It's an appetizer. It gives appetite to food. But at the same time, the body needs a very small quantity of pepper as a trigger for metabolism. The excessive pepper now causes the rectum to swell. That is an initial stage. Then we avoid eating a lot of dry things. Sometimes people stop by the roadside, they buy burning plantains, burning plums, and then they eat. They don't take enough water. When once the system starts getting dehydrated, the rectum is affected, and these tissues can grow up. So drinking too much water can prevent pile.
Okay.
And then sitting on one spot for long, we should avoid, because as you sit, all your weight is on the bladder, is on the rectum. Yes. So continuous gravity on top of the rectum can lead to rectum deformation and rectum inflammation.
Doc, you know, when you were talking about pepper, I just laughed.
Okay. I know it's very difficult to avoid.
I am a fan of pepper.
It's something that is very difficult for people to avoid, but we are saying that they should limit. People should limit their consumption.
I am a fan. Then, you know, there are tribes prone to eating too much pepper.
Exactly.
I know I am a Southwestern, I am a Bayangi, stroke Oroko. And when you hear about the Oroko people, they consume pepper a lot. Yes. And one way through which the Oroko people consume pepper, especially for the poor families, the less privileged, they have nuts. Yes. You boil your plantains and you just make your pepper and you share. There's plantains and there's pepper, maybe on top of children.
And you eat. Even in my own tradition, there are still people who will take red oil, put some salt, put pepper, and they consume like that.
So it means there's serious danger in that act.
There is serious danger. Those mamas and papa who used to consume some of these, like their traditional meals, never had these complications because there were people who were not exposed to the chemical world we are living in today. So when they eat that, and there are people who are physically very active, they go on long distances to walk, to do this, and they were not taking beer. There was no beer, no alcohol. Their own drink was water.
In the farm while you're walking,
you go to the farm with your water, or you carry water alongside. Those are things that were practiced before. But today, our environment is polluted. Our own system is even polluted.
Yes, Doc. So how can we treat our pile?
Pile is mostly treated by using two types of medication. We have anti-inflammatory and antibiotics. Because we've talked about inflammation of the rectum, so we need to use anti-inflammatory. Now, the type of anti-inflammatory to use, whether it's diclofenac, it depends on the doctor. And then we have antibiotic, because some of the piles are triggered by infection. So you use now anti-inflammation and antibiotic to handle piles. But when it goes to the external one, that's where it becomes more complicated because there is no tablet in the world that you can drink to make a protruded rectum to go back in. So the only way is surgical. And the surgical in the context of Cameroon is between 400 to 500,000 francs.
Wow.
And that surgical has a long-term effect. Sometimes it may make you important, difficult for you to, because the rectum has a link with the prostate. So now, during operation, if the prostate is a bit tampered with, their chances of fertility drops. So it has a lot of complications. That's why we are cautioning people not to go to that stage. And we want people to understand that external piles come from chronic, untreated internal piles. So we can handle that. They will drink a lot of water.
We'll drink a lot of water.
So the drug to use will be determined by the doctor after what we call digital rectum examination, which is also done for PSA, that's prostate-specific antigen to evaluate prostate cancer.
That's serious. There are things to look at, and like we just underestimate what they can do. If you're a surgery for pile, that will cost about 500,000 cedis. We really need to tread with caution.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was our health tip for today. I want to believe that you picked something from what we've said. Go nowhere. For after the transition, we are diving into matters to analyze the most catchy news items. So stay tuned. Welcome back, beautiful people. We have entered into the analytical part of the program where we're analyzing the most catchy news items of today. But before we go, I want us to go direct to the Yorkshire Post newspaper. If we can have the Yorkshire Post. Well, the Yorkshire Post that carries this morning as headline, they say airlines join talks on new airports. You know, airlines in the UK. Journey's like they need the construction of new airports, and a lot is happening. Prices are going high, and they see that this time, no, at least everybody should unite force. It's not just in Africa that will strike over things. Doc?
Exactly.
I say so.
Exactly. You know, UK is like the center of Europe. I think expanding their airport is very necessary because it's like the United Kingdom is a center of gravity in New York, where many people go in, many people go out. So I know the United Kingdom have very international standard airports, many of them even, but they may still need more. Anybody who has lived in Europe as a whole, whether in Italy, in France, in Belgium, in Germany, in Norway, in Denmark, always like to go to the UK because it's like a reference in Europe.
It's an expensive town, though.
Yes,
expensive.
Normally,
expensive country.
A town which is a point of attraction must be expensive, like Douala.
That's true. Okay, we'll go to the Washington Post in the United States of America. The Washington Post this morning is carrying as caption, Washington Post, carrying as caption this morning, a divided Federal Reserve cuts interest rates again. Central bankers debate economists, mixed signals on inflation and labor market. Doctor, this is talking about the federal government that have cut interest again on rates, and bankers are afraid that inflation may stem up, mix up on inflation rates. What exactly the connection? Do you see any danger if if these people face inflation, can the inflation reach us in any way?
Well, inflation in Nigeria normally has to affect Cameroon. Yes, you know, 80% of our products in all our markets is coming from Nigeria.
This is Washington.
Yeah, okay, we're still talking Washington. No, if it is in Europe, it will not greatly affect. If you carefully look, we have our own things that we buy from abroad. Inflation abroad will affect, maybe in the context of Cameroon, just by 5%, because we don't have much products, at least first-hand products that we buy from Europe. Most of our products coming from Europe are fairly used products or second-handed used products, which the white man they regard it as a garbage, which we want to discard. So it may not really touch us normally. And know that the white people are very good, even cutting this interest rate and then even inflation. Before they're doing this, they know how they will manage the situation. I think their own inflation cannot be so hazardous like that in Africa.
Okay, we'll go to US today. US today, we are just taking them snappy. US today says, grocery tracker, what's your bill? How prices are changing your shopping charts content. Prices, we're talking out here. You see grocery. You go to the market, you see prices increase almost today. It's this price, tomorrow is the other price. I want to say that they are not just the ones that suffer from this. Even us, we are experiencing such things. Maybe you have your list. You've already made a list of things you want to go and buy. Then you get to
Go
the
and see
market.
changes.
You notice that the price of meat is a kilo of meat is 5,000 francs. So it's
Yes.
eating 3,500.
That exactly is a big problem. You know, there is what we call price control. In the like Ministry of Commerce, there's a price control team. One of the first things, these price changes in prices, one can be caused directly by the government, where taxes are imposed on those people who sell us, and the wholesalers have to increase their prices,
to meet up.
and then the retailers also increase their prices. The consumer becomes a victim. Now, another one can be caused by the consumers themselves, because they know, like, we are in the peak period where many people are rushing for food items and things like that, and they know, those who are selling know that no matter an increment they put on certain products, they will still have consumers, they will still have buyers that will come and buy them. So that is the work of the price control committee, is not to leave somewhere and coming somewhere. All the regional level will have them at the divisional, at the subdivisional. They are all people working with the Ministry of Commerce who have to go out to make sure that, especially at the end of the year, where there are a lot of feasting, so they have to do this, because it's at this time that some will use others to enrich themselves.
Doctor, the issue is we have the Ministry of Commerce where we have price control teams. The ministry will be giving prices of something else. You come to the market with something else. They will caution, but what would the price controllers is when they get to the market, they are chipped, and when they chip something, they just give you brown envelopes with cross hands, and
this is the problem we are facing, because the Cameroonians are already living with a kind of a genetic syndrome, which is caused corruption, bribery and corruption. Because on normal condition, price control committee, a price control delegation should enter a market like buyers. You see, they enter like buyers, go to a supermarket, ask prices. We need this in large quantities. How much would we give? They take those statistics without identifying themselves. It's at last that they will call your attention. But if you come clearly that we are from price control committee, it cannot take somebody 1 second to change a plan.
Yeah, and that is what they do when they come. You know,
and then
they must show that they are price controllers.
Now, why they are doing like that? Because in Cameroon, all these avenues have been created for corruption.
Of course.
So you cannot be an anti-corruption committee, a member of an anti-corruption committee, and you allege somebody that you are coming. Well, you already tell you that we're going to pass. Means you are just saying that they should prepare envelope.
Oh God.
This thing should be done by surprising the people we're targeting. Or we surprise them, we'll get the real information.
Are we going to get there someday? Are we going to get there someday? At that point, people will just
know that we
are coming to work, we are not coming to make money. Because when they are going to the field, it's like they have a mission, they have an amount they want to reach, a targeted amount.
The question is, Madam FRIDA, the question is that when they give you a post of responsibility to rule the people, this is a weight, it's a load they're giving to you. But when they give this, people jubilate. It was something to reflect, not jubilate. Now, what you see in Cameroon, when they appoint people, they are jubilating. It's as if they have opened a door for embezzlement.
Oh my God.
So people jubilate. But in normal circumstances, with people with normal minds, if you are nominated for a post that you need to handle 30 lives, 30 million lives, you need to reflect. It's a time for reflection and meditation. How do I do? How can I put my own footprint so that when I leave this place, people should know that somebody existed like me? This is something you have to think and strategize. But now people spend money again celebrating, go to the villages, and they're writing maybe appreciation letter to the head of state for appointing. So it's just a door for investment. But I want to think that no matter the fact that genetically we have already inherited corruption at all levels, that I think God's time is the best.
God's time is the best. So we'll go to Nigeria, we'll look at The Guardian. Nigeria, we're looking at The Guardian newspaper. This morning, The Guardian is carrying as caption, 54 tax changes account for 35% of airfare cost stifle. They say traffic demand, flying gets expensive. Now we're talking flying in Nigeria that gets expensive. It's a festive season, like you say, and what affects Nigeria directly or indirectly affects Cameroon, especially when we're talking about flying, about going to buy. We have people who go to buy there to come and sell here. Now with this, do you think our buyers will find some difficulties, or when they come, they themselves will automatically adjust their price according to how they got things there?
Yeah, you know that sometimes when you hear production in Nigeria, that flour, it's not as if the quantity is small. Yeah, they have a large population and they have a large market. That's why somebody who start a business in Nigeria for 10,000 francs and somebody start in Cameroon for 10,000 francs, the man in Nigeria get richer faster.
Very.
Why it's a larger market. Now, Cameroon may not really have problems because we have other importing sources of flour. Yes, we have other importing sources. There are flour coming from the Arab world. There are flour coming from the Europe. The people import different sources. And then there are other alternatives that can take the place of flour. We may not suffer. I think one of the greatest things that we will suffer if there's an increment in Nigeria, are electronics. You see, all our electronic devices are coming from Nigeria. This is one of the problems. And then you realize that Nigeria is classified as one of the highest producers of rice too in Africa. But Nigeria, people still export rice from Cameroon to Nigeria.
Yes.
Now,
and rice is still like a luxury food in Nigeria.
Voila, it's like a luxury food because it's a fast food. And now, anywhere you have a large population and you have struggling for survival, most people go for rice.
That's true.
Because it has a less. It's not stressful to get it ready. Yeah. So I think that anything concerning food item in Nigeria may not directly affect Cameroon. But when it comes to cosmetic, textile, we're going to be affected. This is one of the countries that they don't import used dresses.
Yes, no.
Nigeria
They don't.
And it's not like it's a pride. They just thought it was that they have textile companies that are producing dresses in Nigeria. Why can we not encourage domestic producers?
That's why the Nigerian economy is growing.
And that's why you see the guy in Burkina Faso has completely banned importation of dresses and has imposed the traditional dresses. Even to lawyers, magistrates, ministers, they are swing code with it. They design in different style and then they use it. This is money remains within you.
That is it. Promote your own.
You promote your own.
The money circulates just.
Voila. Then you get rich.
It's good.
Than sending money to people who are there only to exploit you. They already are rich. They already developed. They are advanced. And
yet we are still adding.
You are adding to them.
We are adding to this. All right. We'll move to Cameroon with municipal updates, which was our first newspaper for today. Municipal update is telling us about historic leadership transition at ICT University. Well, see, Professor Tonye has succeeded Professor Pondi as a Vice Chancellor, and he has unveiled more innovations. While the founder, Professor Mbarika, has saluted Pondi's strides as former VC, assumes an honorary role. Now we are talking about leadership, Doctor.
Yeah.
We want to talk about private universities that pride themselves. ICT University stands among the first, in the top ranks of universities, private universities that are making waves and are doing good in the country. We're talking about leadership changing hands. You see, each time leadership changes hands, I think something new comes. Do you think this example of the ICT University, if power could be circulating in every domain, like every other school? No, it's not. We are not just looking at just government. In every other end, in Cameroon, it's like we want to be sit tight, or you are somewhere you want to own the space.
That is the problem we have in Cameroon. The first thing I want to appreciate Professor Pondi, Emmanuel Pondi, is somebody I know very well. Is a very well sound, educated individual, and 101% bilingual.
Yes.
I think he has done a lot of. We used to see Professor Pondi when I was a student in JHS Limbe in debates with our famous Bekin Dive. Now, he has done a lot of innovation and brought a lot of development in the ICT University. And we're just believing that Professor Tonye is going to take from there. Yes, I think this change is very important. But we have a problem in Cameroon. This is the graduation period. I think, Madam FRIDA, it was something we should mention.
Yeah.
Because graduation started in all universities in Cameroon.
Yes.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Now, the question is, this transition is a good one. Yes, though maybe no matter how long it has taken for this transition to occur, but it's still good. Now, the questions we want to ask to the people that be, when this year and last year you have graduated more than 20,000 students from university, and no, even 500 seats have not been free. 500 people have not gone for retirement. Where are those students going to? You people are the very one giving certificate to those students. Those students study about you in the primary school, wrote about you in first school and common entrance, then came to O and A level, still wrote about you, and then went to university. You gave them certificate, and then you don't want to leave the chair.
Where would
this is a situation like somebody go to the market with a good to sell, sells the good, collect the money, they say hold the rope.
The rope, yes.
Now this is a very dangerous situation. When I was in Boya of recent, some professional schools started graduation.
Yeah.
Madam Frida,
you saw the fair.
There was jubilation everywhere. But I stood quiet. Somebody asked me that, what are you meditating?
Life after university, after graduation, that's when the reality sets in.
I stood in around start Omnisport Stadium in Boya because some organized their party there. They were dancing, drinking. I stood quiet. I saw someone. I was like, what are you meditating? I said, I am looking at this scenery. Because this very scenario, I witnessed it 10 years ago. Those who were doing this same thing, they are riding bikes in Douala. And I know them by names. Where are we graduating and putting them? So I think that graduation is not the only thing. The most important thing is that those who are giving you certificates should show the way to go to, way to continue. We know that it is difficult. I would rather, because those people will not show you any way, they are not ready to leave the chase. They will only be leaving those positions when God's time has come. When God's decision comes, they have to leave. But those graduating, I want to tell them that this is just the beginning of a very strong journey. Yes. Because if somebody too, when I was in lower upper seat in JHS Limbe, when I saw my teachers with car, in those days, one door was very, at the Toyota Camry. I just told them that it's a matter of time. I just need to have my first degree.
That is it.
I had first degree for 10 years. I never had a bicycle. So I start understanding what is the real life after graduation. That is it.
And when you are still a student, it's easy. Allowance comes in.
It comes in. You have it.
You want to talk to your aunts. You say, okay, I've sent you 5,000. I've sent you 6,000.
Exactly. But when you graduate now, they are expecting from you.
Yes.
They are expecting now from you. The reverse is true. And they will want to tell those who are graduating that outside is not as bright as we are seeing. So you have to target yourself by doing 1 or 2 network marketing to earn a living. Those who are sponsoring in school now will be expecting something from you. And those who give you certificate, they are not ready to give you job. With that short, nobody will give you job. You need to fight for yourself. It's survival of the fittest.
Survival of the fittest. Okay, we'll look at the Guardian Post. Still in Cameroon, the Guardian Post this morning is talking about to boost digital learning. Minister Nalova Lyonga hates hands electronic bans to 250 schools nationwide. Doctor, this is a good strike, right? So we're in a digital world.
Yeah, we're in a digital world. It's a very good, innovative move, though coming in late. But it is better to be late than never. And if you permit me, I will tell you something. This woman is targeting projects that concern secondary school. We appreciate that. She has done a lot. She one time introduced some digital learning and things like that. Madam Frida, any principal in Southwest or Northwest looking at me will know when I left the university, I came out with a project on digital learning, which I converted chemistry, like bonding, ionic bond, covalent bond, the periodic table, ionization, electrolysis. I did those things in video. I went to biology, things like digestion. A child will see physical digestion in the mouth, then see chemical and physical digestion in the stomach, and see everything, absorption, assimilation. I did this in collaboration with some teachers, and I came out with about 10 subjects on video. And I visited 600 schools in Cameroon. GBHS Moliko, I've been there. GBHS Limbe, GBHS Bamenda, GBHS Source, I've been there. I met the principal there. I have my projector. I go and meet those in the GCE classes. They gather them in a room. I do a giant projection. I say, what have you learned in geography? They say folding and faulting. I project a live fold and a live fault. And then I bring a geography teacher to explain I project volcanic eruption
Yeah.
and they see magma and they see it solidifying,
solid.
like it happens in Bakingidi.
Yeah.
I did this for close to 600 schools in Cameroon, and there was no encouragement. When I wrote project I was sending, nobody looked at it. You see, if this was tailored now, we could have reduced. Now, most of the people, yes, I have gone back to the Secretary General, because you don't go there.
No, yes.
You start maybe from national inspectors who are doing. I was a GCA examiner. You meet your national inspectors, you start proposing to them. Many of them were buying and encouraging me that we can do this. But when you look at it critically, what I read from the minds of the people is that many people write to the ministry, they wanted to remain analog, not digital. Those who are selling books are thinking that this could be a threat to them.
Yes,
if a child has the whole economics on a digital, then there's no need for my book. And he's making fabulous sum of money for those books. So this is where the initiative was key, because I cannot produce for all subjects.
Yes.
Teachers who are experts, who could have done this, are supplying books to mission schools. They make millions upon millions every year, every academic year from books. Some are people, ministries have chosen them for their books to be used in schools. This you can earn more than 50 million in academic year. Yes. When your book is used like in English language, mathematics, and French. Now, these people are not ready for it. It's just the same like I propose, like we in the medicine, a lady proposed a method of treating cataract without operation. A Senegalese medical doctor.
Wow.
A woman in a conference in South Africa. And she illustrated example of Senegalese that she has treated. No operation of cataract and glaucoma. No, glaucoma does not need operation, but treat the thing, she can treat glaucoma, treat cataract. She illustrated in a conference of more than 1,000 people. And then she came with a team. Her team, they showed all the proofs and patients treated. But the other teams that came intentionally, they said there could be side effects. There could be long-term effects of this one. So there was a debate there. Yeah. Fighting started in the same hall. Okay. And that project was dumped into the dustbin.
Where? I don't know why.
And she said she will go back to Senegal and be treating people. Let them not take it.
Yes, Senegal. If they have accepted it and she's already treating people.
So you see that you are discovering is somebody's threat.
So do you think this initiative of the minister that she has brought is going to succeed because it's impounded? It's something that the school itself is putting in place.
Yes, it is a very good project, but those schools are small.
That's true.
Yes, only littoral region has not less than 800 secondary schools. This is right. I have the statistics. I've been going through the statistics at the regional delegation. Private, private mission schools and government schools, they are not less than 800.
They are starting from.
Now, if you take for the 10 regions, you could be having about 20,000 secondary schools.
They are starting from somewhere.
So that's why I'm saying that it is good that they have started. But now, rather, the proposal, if I had a voice, I could have rather said that they should create like pilot centers for that particular material. They create pilot centers in each of, like in Douala. Yeah. You could have 2 schools which are pilot center of their program, where teachers can carry students once upon a time, then they take go on. Then, like in Konsamba, it make a pilot center for other schools. They go to where make a pilot center. If they dot pilot centers and start from there, why equipping the other schools over time? This could materialize. But if you limit it in those other schools, the students there may excel more in the exam more than the students who have not access.
That's true.
That's promoting success in some few schools.
Yeah, promoting success in some few schools. Doug, something happens today in the Kumbatiko. Have you seen that image?
I've not seen it.
A truck, a petrol tank.
Yeah.
Truck carrying petrol, crushed, just like brakes failed, crushed. The number of vehicles or people then exploded. It's bloody this morning.
In Likumba?
Yes.
At the Likumba Hill?
That bridge.
Okay, the bridge.
The bridge.
The bridge that you cross.
Yes. It is catastrophic. The fire was like even military men were running, helter-skelter, men in uniform, people were running, it exploded.
Date recorded?
From now, statistics have not yet been given, but we pray it should not be, but no, it's terrible.
I think that Likumba Bridge should be the bridge after the roundabout. Just the bridge that is just.
Yes.
And it's a very narrow bridge.
Very narrow.
And the danger with that bridge is that the iron protectors are all gone.
Already falling.
This is deadly.
This is
because I know that the famous area in Likumba, which we used to have, that has recorded a lot of accidents, is the Likumba Mutengene Hill. Yes, that one has taken a lot of lives. But I've seen the mayor is doing something which is encouraging. They're trying to build an embankment this way.
Yeah.
Because this way there's a valley as you go to the golf club. So they're building an embankment, iron embankment, right to up the police college.
Yeah, it should be, because there was a time I was coming from Kuma. We saw a vehicle like a vehicle that flied. That one became
many vehicles.
Night flight, and somebody one died. He had his seat belt, but he died. It's like he was coming from somewhere. Then
yes, Madam Frida, anybody who has stayed in Mutengene or who has been in Fako cannot count the number of vehicles. A military man has one fallen there, with a car, with a military truck. He went for 2 weeks. They never know where he is. Because it was a bullshit time.
Yes.
Before they come, he has rotten inside the truck.
This comes
inside the military jeep. So you see, in my own eyes, somebody has passed us like this with a Hilux, double cabin Hilux, and went there in front of us. And then we're in a small car, we parked. We could not go in, but those Okada boys came and went right in and saw the man with a seat belt has died already with the phone. Maybe he was on phone.
Maybe he was on
the
phone.
phone is at the speed this man was running. We could not know, and him alone. So this is the period of accident.
This
just
is
pray
the
that God
period
should
of
take
accident,
control.
and our roads are not something
we have very
to
bad
write home
roads.
about. We have
Yes.
very bad roads.
So it's a period of caution. And then I hope that you also, there is also an incident that we will let our audience know that happened it happened in Dedu yesterday when a police shot a bike man.
Yeah.
I saw it on other media.
Right.
I think it was discouraging.
Yes.
That,
It's a previous night. They shot him breaking yesterday.
Exactly. Yeah. Which I was informed that the policeman has taken the bike then to a particular place. Upon arrival, the bike man was asking for his money and he refused to pay. Then there was now an argument between the police and the bike man. Then it happened to this. All this is happening because they have been tolerated to do that.
Why should he?
If it is a country of law, you take the same man is running that bike to pay taxes so that they buy you the same gun. You take the same gun and shoot the person who bought it.
They said the bike man begged with 5,000 francs and they refused.
The good thing, we don't know how it will end, but the good thing is that the policeman is behind bars.
Being behind bars, we pray that justice will really prevail, because at times they will put you behind bars just to calm the situation. And
then they do like that. Most often what they do is that they can send you to an office where you don't have access to people again. I penalize you, you don't have any contract or anything to do with civilians.
They should caution, all we need is to caution, maybe to re-educate our men in uniform with the issue of this gun.
Because if that kind of person is released, I'm doubting whether he can walk in Douala. Because those bikes people, they are very aggressive. Once they have identified that face, let me, one day, something can happen. So I know they will transfer him from here, put him somewhere, and then remove him from the road. They have happened that you have seen what has happened in the north. Where a group, not in the Dibombari, you never saw it, live video. Some people, some gendarmes just went and created a control and they are paying money. Then the brigade commander came.
Okay.
Yes. And said, who have sent people here?
There, they have no mission order.
Live. I'm saying I saw the video live. Dibombari said, I'm the brigade commander.
Who
has sent you people? And they are not coming from his brigade. Created a control there.
It could even be a group of thieves.
They have held many people on hostage.
Okay.
He asked people, say, toi, the prank take. He sent everybody away. That people should go.
You know,
and then call one person who was looking like a traditional title holder and beg that title, please. They would all due respect. Don't think that I'm disrespecting you. We don't know these people. Yes. There's no control here. If there's supposed to be control here, I'm the one to put control.
So what has happened with the ethics and deontology we learn in
the point is that the country has become too confused. There's a lot of confusion. This one happens, this Douala, Boya Road, Douala, Limbe Road, Douala, Kumba Road. There are some
one you don't
there are some controls that are not registered at the regional delegation. There are controls that the Legion Commander do not know. The commissioners, the Legion Commissioner, they don't know. But they just come and collect for a short time and leave. You know, people are calculating how to spend Xmas and New Year. But in the southwest and northwest regions, it's been a routine for close to 10 years. This is what the people are living. What I was just saying yesterday to somebody that this is a very incident happened in Boya when a policeman had break a private car. A lady was rushing to go and keep a child in school. Demand for some control and money. That lady refused. Took off, he shot his gun, he picked up the little girl. He was beaten there to death in front of 3 of his colleagues, escaped. A mob action.
Mob action, and we really need
God
to
should take
come
care.
back to the race when you're being sent to
Yeah.
So a professional school, they train you on how to go about it.
Exactly.
We're talking about the issue of the use of gun. I've watched in one of these controls in the southwest region where they're controlling and we are down crossing on our feet. You cross, you show your ID. A hunter was hunted. A gun shot a gendarme officer himself on his leg. It's like the gun was on a ready to go kind of position.
You know there's something that when you block the trigger. There's a way you hold a trigger so that it should not trigger.
Huh?
So if by mistake, if you don't do that blockage of the trigger, it can easily, I think I've explained that way a security man in a security post, a military, held his gun like this and I was sleeping.
Oh God.
And then the gun trigger in the night.
Yeah.
He was a security guard in a bank. Just went over and shot
Boom.
him. So that trigger was not blocked.
The hunter was haunted. That was the first time I heard a gunshot at those
when it happened like that in our
running.
country, when it happened like that in our own community, they said back to sender.
Yes, everybody, they were just saying people should go. The guy was down blood. I was like, seriously? So this man could shoot somebody here. How manage the gun with?
No, all guns, Madam Frida, any gun you see outside now is loaded. There's nothing like, it's in the developed world that they still hold guns that are empty and here, and then the whole pepper spray.
Yes.
Because pepper spray is not deadly. Police can hold it to spray it and they can get access to you. The here is live bullets. So we don't play now with those guns.
That is sad.
So
all right, we are in December and the atmosphere is tense and people are looking on means of survival, on how to make ends meet, how to do this, how to do that. And we are bound out of our program, Doc. That's been a snappy one. So what's plans for December? You know, I'm also a child. What are you planning for us? I need a Christmas dress.
Well, a good question maybe asked in a wrong position because first of all, I'm a Muslim.
That's true.
I'm a Muslim and I have a lot of friends, a lot of families who are Christians. That notwithstanding, we are always with them during the feast time.
That's true.
But the only thing I can give to those, this is a feast, apart from Christmas, there are a lot of feasting.
Yeah.
There are cultural groups, which is their end of year.
Yes, end of year.
There is New Year coming. Everything people save in the bank is looking for the end of year.
Yeah.
So I want to just give caution about feeding during this period because
January
people,
is a month.
there will be food in surplus and excess, there will be drinks, but I have noticed something that when once Christmas and New Year is over, most hospitals are filled with patients. Yeah. Now you need to visit hospitals after New Year. So I will pick up from gutters.
Yeah.
Some have eaten wrong food and the system has rejected it and they're in complete confusion. One of the things today is that don't always eat because you have seen food. Yeah. Eat because the body needs food. Mm-hmm. If the body does not need food, don't take it. Because don't eat meat in their house, go to an occasion and see meat and still consume. Because that meat you are eating is a risk factor of cancer.
Excess.
Don't eat waterful in their house, that good, nice food in their house, and you go out and see waterful prepared because this one they have put canned meat and fish, you still consume. Those food that has excess fat, excess oil, like concha, like achu, like waterful, those excessive oily food will bring you a problem. Especially, this caution goes to those who are above 40. Mm-hmm. Oil has no place in your body.
Wow.
Any cholesterol you take, only 25% will be used. 75% remains in your blood vessels.
Wow.
You are at the risk factor of stroke. If you run at this time of the day, you have been running from Marche Pololo to Marche Central, running here, skater to make ends meet, and you come back at home and you are feeling heat, and you want to take a shower, be careful. Yeah. Don't start the shower from your head. Because when you are heated, when you are under high temperature, the blood vessels in the blood, in the brain, which we call the cranial blood vessels, they are open. And most of these blood vessels always have the bad fat, the low density lipoprotein, the cholesterol. When you put cool water on your head, it can form clots of this fat, and it can lead to stroke. Because 70% of those who have consulted of stroke told me that they started from the bathroom.
Now I understand. A colleague fell in her bath and died. People did not know. And she was alone in the house. The husband traveled.
So that is a situation.
Yeah. Now I understand some of those things.
Exactly.
You say witchcraft. You attach.
It's not witchcraft.
we associate them to black
It's not
man
it's
magic,
normal.
whereas
The
there are
human
things.
system is a network.
Yeah.
A human system is a network. When once one cable sees, one network sees, the whole body sees.
Goodness.
God off. So when you start bathing, you have to throw water on your body. Then before you take it, when you throw water on your body, it pulls down the temperature, the general temperature of the donor trump, the donor body, and then you can now put it on the head. This is a very big caution for people to take, especially those who are fat, especially those who are stressing themselves to work over the day. And avoid bathing with hot water.
Okay.
Hot water makes you get older faster.
All right. Some of us do not use hot water, no matter how cold the weather is.
Voila.
Yes, no, I don't know. When I bathe with hot water, it's like I've thrown pepper on my body. So that's your take-home message. Your take-home message for Cameroonians as we approach the weekend and more difficult days ahead.
Be very cautious the way you use your money at this time of the year. Don't go and take your salary money, the January salary, to consume in December.
Beforehand.
You become a baker in January. So that excessive expenditure should be avoided.
Yeah.
We have come to an economic situation where when you change 10,000, you may make weeks to have it. So we have to be very conscious that January should not be a difficult month. It's always a difficult month because it's a lengthy month with that public holiday, and all the money in January was used in December. So put some reserve for January. While you are reserving money, reserve your body too. Yeah. Don't consume excessively and bring health complications in January.
All right, Doc. Thank you very much once more for accepting our invitation for
today.
Thank
you.
It
has been a pleasure.
A sweet company. I've missed it. And I want to believe that our viewers out there have been enriched this afternoon because I've learned quite a lot. I want to believe that every other person watching us this afternoon has learned. You saw me when you were talking, I was taking notes because I was busy taking notes. I know somebody who's diabetic is 32, is diabetic, and they have attached this to witchcraft, to this. At first, the guy felt like, okay, he's about to die. He was about to die. It was in his mind. I told him, remove immediately. You remove it from your mind. Then pay for the remedies, the mindset. If not, you die. And he went like this. He was changing, but finally he accepted it. I said, first to accept that it's already there.
Exactly.
It's there. Then you say, people have been living with it, so I can live with it. You follow your remedies, you do it. He's okay. Now he does not even reach 90. So when you're talking, I was taking notes and doing things.
Okay.
I want to believe that our viewers have been enriched, just we have been enriched, ladies and gentlemen. We are in December, like Doctor said, is the end of the year, and we have festivities here and there. We should just trade with caution. We've known January to be a very difficult month. This is because we contribute to making January a difficult month. The previous month, which is December. So do not do what you're not supposed to do. A child should not push you to buying a pair of shoes of 30,000 francs because they call it tendance. It was en vogue. No. Let children learn to be moderate, do what is right, and teach them to know that you do things at your range. Do not go extra mile to make things happen. Food is food. Just stay at your own zone. What works for you. Do not enter into debt, like Doctor said. Lift your head high, spend your Xmas. It's true that it's not really Christmas, but feast without borrowing, because borrowing will do nothing but deter your 2026. So it's on this note that I will draw the curtains on today's edition of the program. I've been on set, FRIDA, and on today's edition we had as guest Dr. AHMED, who is a public health expert and a researcher in so many domains, especially in West Africa, who has visited lots of countries, and even in Cameroon, having capacity building workshops with a lot of groups and persons. In the machines this afternoon, we've had Adrienne, who has given us the beautiful images and the great sound we have this morning. And this is where we say, until I come your way on Monday, have a pleasant weekend.